¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here.
AKA your mama's best friend, your daddy's worst nightmare.
This is the second roster update of NBA 2K23, and I'm going to cover the major changes of every single NBA team. I do that every single time. So if you like roster updates, if you like me talking about ratings and players, all that kind of stuff, I basically do it every day. So if you're watching, hey, subscribe to the channel so that you can be coming every single time and watching every single video. That'd be great. All right, let's get the video started. We start off with the Philadelphia 76ers, as I always do. And Joel Embiid, +1. He goes to a 96 overall. He has been carrying, I mean hard carrying the 76ers team ever since James Harden got hurt. Joel Embiid +1, putting him in conversation as MVP. It's looking legit again. We go PJ Tucker -1. You know, they needed him to be a three-point shooting scorer from the corner and play like amazing defense. And it hasn't been exactly coming there yet, so we're getting there. For the Milwaukee Bucks, we're going all the way to Grayson Allen, who goes +1, but more importantly, Jevon Carter, who goes +3. I talked about this in my video the other day. He has been fantastic. First of all, they put him at the shooting guard position. He's been getting starting minutes. He's averaging 17 points as a starter. Like, it's insane. He's being one of the better players on this team, and if he continues doing this, he's going to be above Grayson Allen pretty soon. For the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine -1. They decided to not tie DeRozan and LaVine anymore. And you know what? I got to agree. LaVine's been hurt, so he's been having a pretty slow start to the year. But DeMar has been the better player as of today. And even then, they've both been struggling. Vooch also goes -1. Just downgrades all over the place for the Bulls. It really sucks because LaMelo Ball has been injured, and who knows if he's even coming back this season. So it's been a rough stretch for the Bulls so far. Now, on the Cavaliers, the only change they decided to do was Caris LeVert -1. And even then, I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like he should have stayed at a 79. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with these changes whatsoever. It's kind of a mid change. So for the Celtics, who have been the best team in the NBA so far, Tatum +1. He's a 95 overall. I remember when we were like, oh man, should Tatum ever be in the 90 overall club? Dude is a 95. This is one of the highest rated players in the NBA right now. Tatum is going off. Every year I say the same thing. I'm like, I can't see Jason Tatum getting better. And then he does it. I don't know. He's crazy good. Then we're gonna go back here with Luke Cornett +4. He's actually getting minutes and being used correctly, but I'm a little upset. How are you gonna give Luke Cornett +4, but Sam Hauser only +1? He's been an amazing three-point shooter for the Celtics so far. He's been one of their better role players. If Luke Cornett's a 74, Sam Hauser needs to be like a 75 at least. I think that's a little crazy that he's this low. For the Los Angeles Clippers, Paul George goes +1. He's having to carry this team because everyone's hurt. Well, by everyone, I mean the most important player, Kawhi Leonard. So Paul George has been having to carry pretty damn hard for this team. You also go Marcus Morris, who's been the second leading scorer on the team, +1. And then the guy that was supposed to be very good, Norman Powell, -2. You know, Norman Powell was a 19-point-per-game scorer for 2 years in a row to basically struggling really hard with the Clippers. That's not a good look for the Clippers. They really need him to step it up if they want to win anything. For the Grizzlies, so no John Morant upgrade, which is interesting. But Dylan Brooks -1, leaving the 80 overall club, which I'm not necessarily agreeing with. And then Santi Aldama +3. This dude, I remember I watched the first game of the season, Grizzlies-Knicks, and I was like, yo, Santi, like, is good. He's hitting his threes. He's actually pretty long, like, so he's actually not that bad of a defender. Like, dude's really good. Now, the thing is, Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back, so his role might diminish a little bit, but he's going to be good for a while. For the Atlanta Hawks, we have Trae Young -1, leaving the 90 overall club. The Hawks are still one of the best teams in the NBA. I mean, I know Trae Young hasn't necessarily been doing as good as he was in the beginning of the year, but I feel like Trae should always be around a 90 overall. But John Collins -2 is absolutely agreed. He should not be that high. He had a good start to the year, but man, has he been struggling the past like 2 weeks. He's been terrible the past 2 weeks. So for the Miami Heat, Max Strus goes +2. He's been the third leading scorer for the past, I believe, 2 weeks. He's been very important to the team. They make him the 5th best player on the Heat, and I feel like this is correct. The Charlotte Hornets. So a couple. Terry Rozier goes +2, making him an 80 overall, putting him in the 80 overall club for the second time in his career, I believe. And then Kelly Oubre Jr. goes +1. So not an 80 overall. I feel like Kelly Oubre should also be an 80, and I feel like Terry Rozier should be a +2 to an 82. So the reason why they're going up so much is because their stats are being inflated because LaMelo Ball had been injured. but now he's back, right? The other thing is that Miles Bridges isn't on this team anymore, and then Gordon Hayward got hurt. So you have so many things getting in the way, and the reason why these players are getting like higher ratings, but that might change next week. For the Utah Jazz, a ton. So first off, Lauri Markkanen +3, making him an 85 overall. I think this might be where he stays for a while. I don't see him going higher than this for a little bit, but he's been deserving of this. He's been the leading scorer on one of the better teams in the NBA record-wise. It's impressive. Jordan Clarkson +3, entering the 80 overall club for the first time in his career, from my understanding, and that's massive. He deserves this. He's been the second leading scorer on the team. I believe I think he should be the second best player on the team rating-wise, but that's my personal opinion. Jared Vanderbilt has been the leading rebounder for the team, +2 to an 80 overall. First time in his career is an 80 overall, so that's massive for him. Then we have THT +3. I mean, just crazy upgrades for this Jazz team. And I'd argue Malik Beasley should also go up like +2. So many changes for this team. I mean, there's 5 players in the 80 overall club, and I wouldn't be surprised if more players go up. It's been crazy for them. For the Kings, we have De'Aaron Fox +2, 87 overall, absolutely deserved. He's been balling out of his mind. The Kings are actually having a pretty decent record, mostly because of De'Aaron Fox. Sabonis +2 to an 86 overall. He's also been playing. I mean, he had a very bad start to the season, but the second half has been important. And like the reason why they're playing so good is not because De'Aaron Fox is continuing his scoring, but Sabonis has picked it up. You also have Kevin Huerter +1, going to an 80 overall club. Malik Monk +2. I mean, everybody is playing out of their mind for the Kings. For the Knicks, so Jalen Brunson +2. It's interesting. Jalen Brunson has probably been the best player on the Knicks. He's an 85 overall now, which is insanity. He's been averaging 20 points on 7 assists and only 2 turnovers a game with really good efficiency. It's impressive. It's impressive. He's probably been their best player. And then Julius Randle goes up +1, while RJ Barrett goes down 1, making them tied as the second best player. Now, I personally believe that Julius Randle needs to be tied with Jalen Brunson as the best player on the team. So they should both be an 85 overall, and then RJ Barrett at an 83. I feel like that makes more sense. Obi Toppin goes +2. He's been the most efficient player on the team. He's been their 6th man, and he's been very good. It's actually crazy how much better he got this year. And then Derrick Rose -4, the biggest downgrade of the roster update, to a 79 overall. He's just not looking as good as he used to. And he's 84. He's 34 years old with hella injuries throughout his career. This was going to happen eventually. For the Los Angeles Lakers, we have Anthony Davis +1, deserving. He's been leading this team low-key because LeBron is either missing games or playing poorly. Anthony Davis has kind of been carrying this team, even though they're still losing. Anthony Davis has been carrying the team. Russell Westbrook +2. He's been the only consistently good player on this team straight up. So 79 overall. Still not being in the 80 overall club is absolutely crazy and disrespectful, but he does get it positive. And then Lonnie Walker +2. He's been the second leading scorer on the team the last 2 weeks. For the Magic, a couple. We have Franz Wagner +1, making him the second best player on the team, which is correct because he's been the second best player for the past 2 weeks. But the important one's Bol Bol. Bol Bol +3, bro. 79 overall Bol Bol. And the Nuggets didn't want him. That's crazy to me. Like, everybody knew that he was going to be good and he just never got a chance. Now he's been given a chance and he's playing so well. It's crazy. And then another player, RJ Hampton +3, kind of going off for the Magic. The Magic have a good future. They just, got to wait a couple years and get Wembanyama, right? For the Dallas Mavericks, Spencer Dinwiddie +2. He's been going out of his mind, playing out of his mind. He's actually been the second best player on this team in the past 2 weeks. It's impressive. We have Josh Green getting a massive upgrade of a +2, and then Maxi Kleber going down -1. A lot of changes for the Mavericks. Still, at the end of the day, it shows in the big picture of Luka's better than everybody, and then you have like your 2 other guys, and then the bench is mediocre. That's what it's showing me, at least, right? For the Brooklyn Nets, we have Nicholas Claxton +3. To me, it has been obvious that he has been the 3rd best player on the Nets since basically the start of the season, and now he's got the correct rating for it. Ben Simmons -2. That's crazy. A dude that's supposed to be the 3rd best player is the 5th. That's nuts to me. And then Cam Thomas finally getting some minutes and getting some time to actually, shoot the basketball because he's really good, +2. But according to, Kevin Durant, there's no help on this team, and that's why they're losing. So there you go. For the Denver Nuggets, so Aaron Gordon +1. I'm happy for him because last year he had 15 points per game. It was pretty good efficiency. He had an underrated year last year. He was the second option on this team because Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were hurt. But Aaron Gordon did his thing and had a good year, and he's doing it again this year. It's impressive. Michael Porter Jr. didn't get an upgrade, which is crazy because I think he absolutely deserved it. But Kentavious Caldwell-Pope +2. He's been playing out of his mind. Absolutely deserved. Bones Highland +1. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Bones Highland goes even higher. So for the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton +1. 87 overall for Tyrese Halliburton. The fact that he's not on the Kings anymore is also insane. Miles Turner +1, making him the second best player on the team. Benedict Mathurin +1. Now he's an 81 overall. You know, Buddy Hield +1. This team has been surprising everyone in the league. They're actually not looking that bad. I mean, realistically, they won't make the playoffs, but their future, Tyrese Halliburton's 22 and Benedict Mathurin's 20. Like, they're going to be good in a couple years, like, for sure. Now, for the Pelicans, Zion Williamson +1. 88 overall. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up as a 90 this year. CJ McCollum -1. He has been struggling. However, last game they played, he finally had a good game. So it might have just been a cold streak. Besides that, no major changes for the Pelicans. They're playing solidly. For the Pistons, Jaden Ivey goes +1 and Isaiah Stewart goes +1. So now that they are both tied as the 4th best player on the team, they're both very young. This team is very young. You know, you have 5 players almost in the 80 overall club, and almost everyone besides, you know, Bojan is 23 and younger. Like, that's a good sign for the Pistons. We have hella changes for the Raptors. Scotty Barnes -1, while OG Anunoby goes +2. I think, me personally, OG should have been Tyler Scotty as the second best player with Fred VanVleet in them, because he's been a defensive player of the year candidate while being one of the best scorers, so he deserves that. Bono Banton has been going out of his mind +2. You know, I know he was really good in the G League, but he's showing that he can do it. I mean, he's 6'7" point guard. He's playing very well. For the Rockets, it's basically Jalen Green +2, deserving. I mean, you're the only really great play on your team. On a bad team, you're going to get hella points and your rating's going to go up, which is what he's doing. Alfred Sengun enters the 80 overall club. He's actually been a very, very good player. There was a little controversy last year of them trying to play him and Christian Wood at the same time, but Sengun is kind of like shut everyone up, and he's proven that he's very good. And then Jabari Smith has had a very slow start to the year, -3. Very, very slow start for him, but he's a rookie. Give him a little bit of time. For the Spurs, Keldon Johnson +1. I'm surprised they upgraded him. I thought they were going to keep him at an 83, but best player on the Spurs, Devin Vassell +4. Bro has been playing very well. He's averaging 22, I believe, in the past 2 weeks, shooting at a very, very high clip and good field goal percentage. He's been great. It's impressive. Trey Jones +3. He's been getting hella minutes as a starter. He's been playing actually pretty well in those minutes. You know, the Spurs obviously aren't going to win anything, but some impressive showings here by the Spurs. For the Suns, DeAndre Ayton -1. Making him below Bridges is kind of crazy. I mean, Ayton's supposed to be like overtaking Chris Paul as the second best player on this team in like the next year or two, and yet he's going down is crazy. Campaign goes +1, and that's the only changes for the Suns. For the Thunder, SGA +1. And you want to be 100% honest? Maybe he should be going even higher than that. I mean, this team is winning games, right? SGA is averaging, like, from my understanding, it's like 34 in the last 2 weeks. I don't know, bro. That's like a 92 to 93 overall for me. I'm just saying. And then Poku, I believe, gets +2, and he's actually been playing very good. Kind of like a bull situation of like now they're actually giving this man minutes, and he's actually like proving himself with those minutes. For the Timberwolves, Ant -1. He's been inconsistent for sure, but the Timberwolves are actually starting to pick it up again, so I don't know how I feel about that one. Kyle Anderson +2. It's funny, I was looking at their main 4 players right here, and I was like, who's gonna be that 5th guy? They're gonna need one other player to really keep this team consistent, and like, you know, who's gonna be that role player? And, you know, Kyle Anderson has kind of arrived, huh? He's been consistently good for years, you know, averaging 12 with Memphis and then 8, but like always a good efficient player with the Spurs, a good defender. Slow-mo has always been very, very good. Him being that 5th option is going to be a nice thing here for the Timberwolves. The Blazers, you know, this one's kind of crazy. No Jeremy Grant upgrade, no Anthony Simons upgrade, but Josh Hart -2. Wow. Jeremy Grant's been averaging like 25 in the last 2 weeks as the leading scorer for the Trailblazers, and they've been winning games. No upgrade for him is insane. Anthony Simons has been averaging like 23 in the last 2 weeks while Dame is playing with him. I don't know how you don't go upgrade either player. But they get Drew Eubanks +2, former Spur. It breaks my heart. For the Warriors, besides Curry, no one deserves anything, but Curry +1 makes him tied as the best player in the NBA, which is absolutely deserved. I believe he has the 3rd highest true shooting percentage in the NBA, and he's a point guard. That's crazy. You don't understand how insane that is. He's averaging 35 points per game in the last 2 weeks. He's been carrying this team so hard, and they're still losing. Ty Jerome +3. He's getting minutes and playing well in them. And finally, for the Wizards, it's all the way back here with Jordan Goodwin who's getting a +6, getting minutes for the Wizards and using them correctly. That's all that's happening. He doesn't even have a face scan in the game, right? But okay, that is the major changes in NBA 2K23 when it comes to the roster. What do you guys think about this roster update? What do you think they missed or got right? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.